Hello, welcome to VR Game Truck Nebraska's YouTube channel. In this video, I basically want to give you a tour of my trailer. So if you're already an operator, you can see what I do with my game truck trailer. Also, if you're thinking of purchasing from Lee, you can see what it has to offer, and both the good and the bad. They've upgraded a lot of things on it since I've got it, and these are things you might want to make sure that you get the best of, because they'll solve you some problems down the road. Okay, the first thing is, when this is manufactured, the jack was way up here. So if you have certain types of vehicles, you might not be able to open it up like that. But since then, I've moved it back, and I just keep it on the jack stand, and I have a block underneath it because of my airbags. I was told they kept coming out of that because I'm up so high now as compared to before. The type of truck I have, I was just sitting down way too low. So now I'm up a lot higher. So I keep this block under here. But the main thing with this is, and I recommend, and I hope they start doing this, so why not just have it moved back to begin with? There's plenty of room. It used to be sit right here. Now it sits back here. And there's plenty of room for there for it to sit. You still got room for your generator and everything else, and I think it's a vast improvement. Now, we're going to talk about the electrical outlets. I have an old model, so it has a 30 amp, it has two 15s down there. Now I think they do two 30s, but if you want to downgrade your 30 amp and you want to use 15 amps or 20 amps, they give you this cord, and it will quickly burn out. Even if you're on a 20 amp, if you're trying, I've learned is if you're trying to downgrade the electricity, if you're running it the air exchange and all the electricity, you should be able to do it off of 20 amps. But there's problems a lot of times. I double this. I paid a lot of money for this, so when I'm not servicing events, it's stored here, and I use it as an extra area that I play in. So it's so I hook it up to my house, and I have the electricity and the AC, one air exchange, and I used to have lots of problems with it switching off since then, and I don't know exactly if it was a combination of all these things or what was causing the problem, but I replaced inside a 20 amp breaker that was getting switched off when I had the AC, the air exchange running in hot weather, and also I was switching off on the inside. Since then, I've upgraded, and I put a 20 amp in there, and I've also changed this. I found this on Amazon, and this is industrial made, and it protects for up to 20 amp surge. So I think it's a high quality than what I got. And since I've been using this, haven't had any burn cords or anything like that. Haven't had any surges on the inside on the breaker box in there or in my house in the breaker box. So it's worked great for that. If you're never going to downgrade, there's really no issues with this. But if you're going to want to downgrade, this is just a nice little thing to have. It's about 40 bucks. I'll put a link for it on the description. Also, I want to show you the side now. If you have the old model, the way they did these things down here too, they burned out a lot, so we had to replace them. At the time, I didn't know that I've seen since then on Amazon, there's actually ones that have that you can mount here, and it'd be more like the 30 amp that it closes. But this is what we did for now, and this is working for now. If these burn out again, then I'll change to that. But I haven't had a problem. I recommend this. I hook up for the Ethernet for internet to update all the consoles. So you can this goes to my house, just a cord I have coming out of my house. They use these. This is a watertight little coupler. They use them on boats a lot. So when I don't have it hooked up, I can cap off the end there, and it just goes up just like electrical things here do. So it's a great thing. And then it goes to the inside, and you can either go wireless there or you can wire it. Our internet here is really slow, so I got all the consoles wired in there just to save with update times. It takes forever to update. Okay, so this is what the trailer looks like on the outside. It's good to get whatever advertising that you want to get, but I tried to put as much on here as I could. So birthday party, corporate events, fundraisers, family reunions, schools and churches. This is a design first came up with that Tom uses in Texas. I got permission to use this, and I use it in Nebraska now. So it's a great little design. I like that part of everything. Okay, so just on the outside, I recommend for them. I know they do 30 amps now, so that's a great alternative. Those coming out of the end, just with the weather and everything, and they burn out and they're problems. And modifying the jack, I don't think that's, when you manufacture it, that's too much of a little thing to do, and it's a great way, especially if you're managing on yourself. If you're going out and doing parties yourself, I can get to my 2 generators easily. And you want to use 2 generators. If you're running everything, you can run so much longer. On 1 generator in a hot day, I might be able to run like 2 to 3 hours. When I have both of them running, I can run 5, 6. So it's great. Now I'll show you the inside. Okay, first off, when I got this trailer, well, let's talk about these door sills a little bit. They put this little stuff here. You see how thin that is? We've upgraded some areas. We have it more on the inside. We haven't replaced this yet, but we put it on the inside to give a better seal, this thicker stuff. I recommend you make sure they do that. The welding here was thin. This little weld line was thin, so we don't have it, welding equipment, so we just filled it with caulk.
Silicone.
Silicone. Filled it with silicone to keep it was leaking, like both doors. So I recommend you just make sure that their doors, that they do everything they can and not use this cheap stuff.
On the outside too.
To upgrade that and use the thicker stuff. Okay, let's look at the stations. This is a great part. This is their great design. I'm very happy with everything. I've done a lot of research on game trucks, and most of them that you get manufactured, they're old design, and they'll look beautiful, don't get me wrong, but they'll have a little bench here and some TVs, but this is really set up for VR, and the only one I can see that takes advantage of all the space you can have in here, so you can have a lot of VR players, because we can have we have 4 VR stations here. We have a 5th VR station back there that has more room, and then we have 2 VR simulators. So you could have 7 people playing VR here. Then if you wanted to, you could use the free headsets and put them over there and have even more as you space out. I can do 14 people playing VR if I want. If I have more than that, then I go to the console games and use that. But I'll show you what I did for my first station. Now remember, this doubles as both, I have this functional so I can do events and make money that way, and then also at home so we can use it. So it might be, I might have a lot of stuff in here that you probably wouldn't need. But first of all, for this first station, okay, we have it hooked up, and we have an Xbox 360, we have a PlayStation, we have a Wii, and we have a Switch. The Wii and the Switch is on a splitter. Okay, so on HDMI 3, I can split to either one of those. This is a modified Wii. It has about everything on it. I really don't use it that much. When I go out to an event, I'll use the Switch, but I have it here if I want to use it. The Xbox 360 I have here, and the PlayStation. Now over here in the second station, we have an Xbox One. Okay. Oh, also on the Switch, I use these before I go to the second station. On the Switch, on the first station, I use these Pro controllers. They work great. So I kind of have that Switch for the first station. I put on Mario Kart a lot there. Some people are still using the Wii U a lot. I prefer the Switch. I do have a Wii U, but I want to maximize those new Switch games. So I have 2 Switches in here. I wish I had more, but it's what I have right now. I might get more when all this COVID stuff is over and the Switches are reasonable again. Right now they're outrageous. Okay, so in the second station, okay, we have the Xbox One, we have an Xbox 360, and we have a PlayStation. So I can do any of those consoles. You know, do the VR. The PlayStation is primarily for the VR. This station I don't use a lot for the VR because I like to have this door open and then the light screws it up. I might do something later on with that. I actually have stuff that Michael in Alabama uses, these black strips, and I'll hang those up, but I don't think I'm going to do it here. I'm only going to do it on the back door because I like this open, because when I'm out, especially like if I'm doing fair or something like that and I have people walking to the door, I want to be able to see out there. So I'm looking for something more that slides that I can easily remove, not as permanent as those strips. So I might do that later. But the second station, like I said, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation. Okay, the third station, I have a Wii U, and I'll use the Wii U a lot, an Xbox 360, and a PlayStation. Okay, and the next station, I have an Xbox 360, a PlayStation. I have a PlayStation, Xbox 360, PlayStation, and this PlayStation is actually for this TV here, so I could do VR in this space here, and this is where I put the games that need more room, because you have more room between the camera here and this space, so you could put stuff like Job Simulator, Vacation Simulator. It's just enough to work in this space. Okay, and some other games might even run better, like Beat Saber. You might not lose focus, but you can play Beat Saber just fine in here. You just got to remind people to keep stepping back because they like to step forward. So it works great for that. This also I'll use for a Smash station. So back here on these, I use these controllers for Smash, and this is great on the Switch. 8 controllers. I don't have to hand out a Wii U pad. It's the newest Switch. It's one of the things I'm proud of that I've added, and it works great. Kids love that station with Smash. Okay, other than that, popular aircraft simulator, of course, and car simulator for the VR. Okay, so that's all great in here. If I was to do it again, you know, I really don't use the Xbox 360 that much. I might use one to put on Minecraft, and there's other consoles I can put Minecraft on. So if I had it done today, I'd probably go straight PlayStation. I want PlayStation and Switches on all the stations at least, and maybe an Xbox One or two, like 1 or 2. I don't use the Xbox One a lot. I at least want to have one, so I have that option. Maybe 2, but I really, when I'm in here, the games I use the most on the consoles, I really use the Nintendo stuff just because the events I'm doing, they're more G-rated stuff. So, and I like to use those games. I think appeal more to the types of events I'm doing with churches and schools. So I put those Switch games on a lot. So I'd like to have more Switches if I did again. For now, it's fine. That'd be about the only thing I added. Also, all the stations here, we have these Oculus headsets. I use this for school programs. Okay, right now, the Oculus Go might phase out soon, but the software all hasn't been transferred to the Rifts. So I still recommend these if you're going to do any kind of educational VR package for schools. It is a great thing. You can see my videos on educational VR. It'll show you exactly what you can use on Oculus to get the most out of it, and I highly recommend it. It's awesome. I have videos also how to modify these to make them not go dead as fast, so they work great. I have those on each station, and those are great little things to use. Other than that, in here you can see there's a lot of cool stuff. The lighting, now this, if you ask, they'll definitely do for you. I just didn't know enough about it to ask what I would want. They put up an LED strip, you know, like the plate I have. It's the way he put it. he had the controller back here and it was so hard to get to. So I recommend you, when you tell him to do this stuff, just tell him to put the stuff where you can reach it. So if you need to fix it. So now if this stuff comes unplugged, I just have to reach right here. And I can reach this. Reaching back behind there is not fun by yourself. It's hard to do, and you might have to take down the TV. So these strips, a normal strip will reach all the way from over there to right here if you don't wrap it around that wall on the end there. So we did that. We got one controller going there, and then it goes all the way around. And I put a dish. There might be a better way to do this, but with what I understand how these works, the easiest way for me to do it was to use 4 controllers. And I just got to plug in, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on each of these little walls, and it looks so cool now. It looks, I think, and it lights it up so much better. It's hard to see in here, but now I can see underneath here, and I can see all around instead of it being completely dark. So if I need to work on a station or plug something in, and everything's closed, I can see enough to deal with it. Other than that, it's a pretty cool design. I guess the only thing I should say is these air exchanges, you know, might be a problem depending on where you live. You might want to just go with an AC when you manufacture it. It might save you money in the long run. It's something to think about. It gets really hard to keep this cool when it gets hot and keep everything running. Other than that, about the only other problem I think I can have is with these fans sometimes. They kind of short out, I have to press them back in. And that's a little annoying. But overall, like I said, it's a great design. If it's something you're interested in, contact Lee. And be sure to say that you saw this on here from Michael for VR Game Truck Nebraska. And it helped me get a discount on some stuff. So it's a great design if you want to get into this business. I haven't seen anything built as well as this. I just try to be honest to show you some little things that I've had problems with that they might want to improve and that you could do yourself to make it better. Overall, it's been great. The main thing is just dealing with some of the weather issues. And I think, though, I mentioned most of them. It just has to do with when you're not in California, there's things you have to be aware of. And I think the only other thing that kind of has me concerned long term is this roof, which is partly on my end because I have hail damage on this roof. So it's dented and it pulls in areas, so I'm kind of worried about that. It'd be nice if it was a more curved roof, but I don't know if they could do that because you can't take away any more space in here from the camera to the wall, from the camera to where you stand. The VR's not going to work right. So that's a minor thing. And then underneath they do use wood, so I really wish they treated it. So I recommend that. Probably before winter, I'm hoping to do something with that. Other than that, it's a really great trailer. I have so much business right now, but just with COVID, it's been hard. But a lot of stuff's been canceled. I can't do fairs like I had planned. But it's a good design. It's a good way to get into business. So out of everything that I've looked at of trailers, I recommend this one. I didn't know anything about like trailer design when I went into it. Like, just knew that I wanted to get into this business. And if I was a little more aware of what they were doing in building, I would have said do this. And this are just little things that you might want to be concerned about if you're purchasing for them, and just make sure they do these little upgrades, because they're not that much to do at the time of manufacturing if you tell them to do it and make sure it's done. So these are, I think, things to be concerned about just to make sure you get the best product, and hopefully some of these things they'll adopt to their standard model. I know some of the things I mentioned they have. So anyway, I'd like to thank you again for watching our video,
You guys have a great day.